Hi, this is Judy Collins, and I'm here with Danny Coleman on Rock On Radio.
Claire.
Hey. Yes.
I haven't seen you in, like, what, 6 months?
Ages, yeah, right? Seems like it. What have you been up to?
My ideal weight if I was 11 foot tall, as Norm Peterson would say. Anyway, welcome to Rock On Radio. How about that? Judy Collins bringing us in.
Ooh, she's looked at life.
Now, I'm going to tell you this only because
We're
she had no problem talking about it, but it's not something that later on the interview I did with her, probably in a couple of weeks, will be part of a show while I'm away on a golf trip.
Nice.
But I called her, and I'll let you hear it. But I called her, and she answers the phone. Hello, and I said, hi, Judy Collins. She goes, hi, is this Danny? I was like, yeah. She goes, oh, I've been expecting you. I said, how are you? She goes, horrible.
Oh, no.
Like, wow.
What a way to start an interview.
I said, okay. I said, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, apparently her husband passed away.
Oh, no.
And the services are today.
Wow. Oh.
And I was like, is this a bad time? She's like, no, life goes on. I got lots of stuff happening. He would want me to. And I was like, okay, then.
Ooh.
So my condolences to Judy Collins.
Oh, that's sad.
Who is going to be, like I said, 85 years old.
No way.
Yep.
Really?
She has a new album.
Whoa.
She has a brand new book of 100 different poems.
Oh, my gosh.
And it was quite the interesting interview.
Oh, nice.
So everybody tune back in and listen to 85. She didn't sound it.
Wow. And she always looked so good.
She was upbeat. She was vibrant. She was engaging.
Wow.
So,
Ooh.
and of course, I didn't even have to beg her to give me that promo. Please, Judy.
Please, Judy.
No.
Judy, please.
But, yes, welcome to Rock On Radio. Rock On Radio is sponsored by Phoenix Art Supplies and Framing.
Woohoo.
Located on Route 611, Southeastern Road in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Now, Doylestown is having a big shindig. Are we incorporating Phoenix Art Supply in that?
They're having a big festival, actually, and we will have one of the co-chairmen of the festival.
Nice.
Heather.
Mm-hmm.
She will be on this program the week or so before the festival.
Nice. We should probably have Chuck Schaefer. Tell him to come in.
No,
I don't
he
know.
will.
Good.
He will. But, yes, Phoenix Art Supplies and Framing, providing quality art supplies and framing to Doylestown and beyond for more than 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
O'Connor's American Bar and Grill of East Hampton, Mount Holly, New Jersey, located on Route 537, otherwise known as Monmouth Road. O'Connor's is the official caterer of Rock On Radio.
Yes.
Lillipie's of Princeton. Inside the Princeton Shopping Center at 301 North Harrison Street, you will find Lillipie's.
Yes, you will.
Where Jen, I wonder if she's still married.
Yes, she is.
Darn.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, but I could.
A weight of the man's heart is through his stomach.
I would sell my body, and that's a lot. There's a lot of body to sell for sourdough bread.
I'm sure if you just buy the sourdough bread, it'd save yourself a lot of trouble.
Probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because she'd
overall.
divorce me in like a week.
Probably.
If it was that long. Anyway, Lillipie's of Princeton, where she makes hand grenades of happiness, and we devour them until our stomachs explode. My stomach.
So maybe it's her problem then. She created this.
Yeah, maybe I'll divorce her.
That's right.
We love Jen.
We do.
We do. Sinister Footwear. If you go to sinisterfw.com and look at some of Tina's crazy, amazing socks from every genre known to man,
I know.
and
I
you
love them.
use the promo code DCR socks at checkout, you'll get 10% off your purchase. Sinister Footwear, sinisterfw.com. New Jersey Stage. If you go to newjerseystage.com, you will find one of, if not the finest arts and entertainment magazine ever. Wow. Ever. And I staked my poor reputation on that. Correct. She. Gary is kind enough to allow me to publish my column, Rock On, This Week's Soundbites, every Thursday on NewJerseyStage.com, as well as airing this program, The Penguin Rocks.
That's right.
.com. You go there, and you'll be able to hear this Tonight Show for one whole week, and then it's archived at mixcloud.com/thepenguin. So you'll be able to hear it forever. Forever and beyond. The Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation. When can we spill the beans, or shouldn't we?
No.
'Cause
Soon.
we have a big
gonna
announcement
be
about the
so
Jersey
much
Shore
fun.
Jazz and Blues
Yes,
Foundation.
it is. We're taking it on the road.
That involves blues music, radio,
Birthplaces.
birthplaces, juke joints,
And lots of good music
Memphis, Tennessee, and more.
and beyond.
Correct. JSJBF.org. Go there and see what the Jersey Shore Jazz and Blues Foundation has in store for you. And soon you'll be able to see what they have in store for us.
Or what we have in store for them.
Yeah, this could be a one and done deal, you know. They may not invite us back. Well, maybe you. They'll
They'd
invite
invite
back.
me back. You,
But- I could be eliminated.
it could be. I'll bring you along, though, because you do all the talking, which is nice.
And then like, well, thank you for that. Like after this, when this is all said and done, and I don't return, you'll see me on that show on the Discovery Channel, Moonshiners. I'll be in like some backwoods making moonshine.
I think that's probably well suited to you.
Speaking of which, I talked to, remember my man Reggie?
Yeah.
Right? Reggie called me on New Year's Eve.
Really?
He said, Dano, Happy New Year.
The apple moonshine?
He says, guess what? I said, what? He says, yes. He says, I went to North Carolina. I said, you got the goods? He's like, I got the goods. Now he's got family who are moonshiners.
Nice.
Whew. That's how I lost my eyebrows. I opened the jar too close. Woof. Wow. And it is. It's like 160 proof or something. It's like, whoa, it's up there.
Whoa.
Yeah. Takes paint off walls, too. So if anybody needs their paint removed, contact me. I've got moonshine to get that job done.
Is it apple this time?
I don't know.
Oh, you haven't gotten it yet.
But I got to take a couple of cigars and go over to Reggie's, who lives in my neighborhood where I grew up.
Really?
Right next door to one of my best friends as a kid.
Oh, that's cool.
So, now I forget what
I know
we were
you
talking about. Oh, yes. Asbury Park Vibes. Go to asburyparkvibes.com and see all of the goodness that Doug and Diane have in store for you there, from their fantabulous podcast to helping musicians, solo artists, entrepreneurs, bands, whatever, with their headshots, bios, photographs of their band or them in the sounds like my legs when I get out of bed in the morning. Doug and Diana, they employ an entire staff of photographers. They do bios for websites, press releases, so on and so forth. And they're just two people we really like. There is a magazine did an article on her.
Oh, I did see that. That was nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I'm getting an email from them. They did an
you're
interview with
next?
me just
Oh.
the other day.
Oh, very cool.
And here I was thinking Diane recommended me. I was all happy. I get to the end, and they're like, they won't let you submit the entire thing until you send them 2 emails of people you think would be deserving. But it was nice of Diane to think of me.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I am always flattered
Nice.
and beyond humbled when people do
I
that
wonder
for
who
me.
the other person was.
That's right. Bruce is going to be getting an email soon.
I won't
Speaking
tell
of which, we're at the 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment.
Yay.
We love our association with Deco.
We do. They're so nice to us.
They've got some new stuff happening where they're going across the big river, and they'll be partnering up with the New Hope Winery to bring some really cool entertainment in there.
That'll be cool. That's a nice series.
Yep. So, matter of fact, Sharon Lasher has a new tribute show. She'll be in here in a couple of weeks,
Nice.
and that would be a good fit for that venue.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to have to talk to Bruce and Charlie
Put them together.
and see what happens there.
It's what you do best.
This next person, I did speak to them, though, already.
Okay.
Just yesterday. I professed my love for her.
Her too?
Well,
What are
I
you
got to have a
doing?
backup because Jen just
She's
thwarts
married.
me at every turn.
Aw.
She gives me that something about I'm already married crap. I don't know what she does. Yeah.
That line?
Yeah,
And you
typical.
believe it? Oh my goodness.
You don't think she'd lie about something like that?
No.
To keep me at bay.
No, I met him. So he's
I
real.
met him.
He's real. She didn't just hire him for the day.
Anyway, I will be having lunch
Nice.
with our Chandler.
Oh.
Dee Dee of Dee Dee's Lights, the
Nice.
official Chandler of Rock On Radio.
Mm-hmm.
She makes incredible candles, which I am almost out of.
Now, are we going to explore another fragrance? I think you probably should reach
Okay.
out and,
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I'll ask her.
because it's like version 1, like, 2.0. You gotta mix it up a little. You can't just keep the same one. all the
Well,
time.
you picked the first one.
I did. I'll pick the second one too.
Wow. You see how that works? You see-
Well, I noticed I wasn't invited.
He's been
so-
here. He's been here 10 minutes. Well, you want to go? It's on a Saturday.
Oh, well, I may be busy. Sorry. Well, it depends on what Saturday. If my kids are busy or not.
February 8th.
Oh, maybe. I'll let you know.
That's right. Now, all you autograph seekers, you can come find Dee Dee at McClune Supper Club on February 8th.
Nice.
Or the Robinson Ale House. We'll be downstairs.
Oh, good. Okay. Is she playing too?
No, we're having lunch to
Oh,
discuss
okay,
candle
okay,
business.
okay. You just said she was going to be.
Dee Dee's Lights. Dee Dee's the official candle maker, Chandler of us. Lots of other people. And
Gaslight Anthem.
Gaslight Anthem as well. So
Yep.
she's all right there, Dee Dee.
She's pretty cool. That's it. You're done.
Hmm?
You were done.
I am?
Yeah.
Wow.
Cut you off.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. Oh.
I made it. I made the announcement last week, but it was very low key.
It was.
But now that you're here, I anticipate this being a raucous.
Oh, I didn't even, download any kind of I should do crowd noise.
Thank you. Our guest is being rather
Exactly. He's going to
cooperative.
do his little drum roll.
There you go. So, you know how I am incredibly disappointed.
You're gonna
No,
say
I didn't say
handsome, but-
disappointing, disappointed that none of these local microbreweries
Right. Step up to the plate.
have stepped up to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I've only asked 2. And they
maybe
both
that's
gave
the
me the old,
reason.
oh, yeah, that's a great idea. We'll get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now there's one that took the bull by the horns.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I always wanted a beer to be created in my image, right?
Right.
So, of course, it's got to be a stout
Right.
because I'm kind of short and stout.
Because you like stouts.
Well, that too. So, Marcy, who's also married, at
I'm sensing a theme here.
Tyndall Road Brewery
Ooh, Bordentown.
in Bordentown, New Jersey, met me at Pete's Steakhouse
Nice.
for lunch
Okay.
last week. And I was like, Marce, this is what I want to do. Because I've known Marcy since they opened,
Right.
pretty much. And I'm like, Marce, this is what I want to do. She said, okay. I was like, that's it? Is that easy? Yep.
If you knew it was that easy.
Wow. All right. Well, so if you go or look them up online and look at their beer menu, it should still say, which it did the other day because she told me it did, Danny Coleman's ROR. Stay Puffed Chocolate Marshmallow Stout. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. There you go. The crowd is I know.
I did come through.
It is available at the tap room.
Nice. Now, I really think when you told me it was chocolate marshmallow, I thought you were going to call it like Rock On Road or Rocky, because it's Rocky
Well,
Road.
I see. Here's the. I didn't have a choice in the naming.
Right.
This is what they already had prepared.
Right.
But she said to me, because you're such a loving individual.
Because
she
you
said,
look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow.
and you look like the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. We're going to leave it on tap through February for. How's that go? Let me see that again. Give me my camera. Let me take a picture of that. So
You wish.
anyway, wow. So anyway, so if you go to the tap room, which is located on 102 Farnsworth Avenue in Bordentown, New Jersey, Burlington County.
Need a ride?
Oh, whew. I have to call Alberici, find out. So if you do that, you can now through the end of February, it'll be on, or until it's gone, it'll be on tap there.
Cool. Very nice.
They took a keg to the knot, but the knot doesn't have the right tap for the keg. But it is also on tap at O'Connor's American Bar and Grill.
Hey, that's cool.
Ask for it by name. It's part of the Danny Coleman's Got the Brews series.
That's good. See, I'm glad you. That's good. I like that.
So
Very clever.
in March, it's supposed to be some kind of Irish stout that we're going to work on. And then in May, it was going to be a Thai Mexican chocolate chili, but it was going to be a stout. But stouts don't sell that well in the warmer weather,
That's
so
true.
we're going to create something else.
A blonde.
Maybe.
Producer Claire.
That's what we'll call it. Producer Claire's Ale.
Blonde ale.
There you go. Fantastic. So, how can they find out about us?
They go to dcror.com, which is the short link for Danny Coleman's rockonradio.com.
And Facebook is facebook.com/Danny Coleman's Rock on Radio 2, the number 2. Instagram at Rock on Radio, all one word, all capital letters. There. Well, our next guest, or our only guest, not our next
Tonight's
guest.
guest.
This very nice gentleman.
Yes.
Actually, he happened upon me, and I happened upon him at the same time because
Isn't that usually how that works?
our mutual friend, Carrie, of the Wounded Souls duo,
Ooh.
she was having an event because she writes for a magazine called Aspiring Magazine. And she was having an event down at Dickie's Barbecue
Oh.
in Mount Holly,
Nice.
and which turned out to be a really nice event. It was very well attended. And she told me that this gentleman was going to be part of the bill. And it was really cool. And we had, it was supposed to be the one guy, one of the family members from the guy from the Tokens was there. in the jungle, the mighty jungle.
A wimbo up, a wimbo up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My wiener's wet. My wien. Wait. So, anyway, the tokens.
Goodness gracious.
So anyway,
Where did that come from?
so anyway, so he was there. Yeah, Jimmy Maddox was there from Pure Petty. They did a set of a handful of Tom Petty tunes, and but everything else was this gentleman, his son, and a friend of his.
Nice.
And I am very glad that I met him because this CD, 4-track EP called Repent, was released. When was this released?
November 15th.
Recently, back in only a couple months ago. Please welcome to Rock On Radio, Mr. Pete Scavello.
How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Yay.
Thank you for hanging around while we did our sponsors.
Well, I teased you.
And
Mercilessly.
Wow. So, hello, Pete. How are you, man? Thanks for
Good.
making the drive up here to the Hinterlands, to the 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment. It is greatly appreciated.
All right, thank you for having me. It was, and your directions were spot on. The roads did get smaller as I got here.
And darker and more windy.
Yes, exactly.
I said to him, don't panic. I said, because the roads are going to get more narrow and darker, and there's not a lot of light.
And lots of deer.
And, so don't think, where the heck is he sending me? Although I know you're going to think, where the heck am I going? Where is he
Deliverance.
sending me?
This is New Jersey.
But so no, it's really cool, and I got to thank Carrie for introducing
Yeah.
you to me. Carrie, of course, has her charity. Carrie Soul Singer, I believe, is what it is. So you drove quite a while, to quite a distance actually, to get here. You drove all the way from Cherry Hill.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a little over an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty close with that one.
Yeah,
It's
you were
about an
spot
hour
on
and
with
10
that,
minutes for you.
He's a driver. He's a knack for that.
One of the greatest cinematic pieces of all time
Sure.
was about a quest to go to Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. They were going to Cherry Hill to find the White Castle. Is there even a White Castle in Cherry Hill?
Not that I'm aware of.
I never found it, obviously.
So I am all ears, and actually, I really am. If I take these headphones off, they'll fill the room.
Oh gosh.
So and so is producer Claire. We are all ears. I don't know you.
Okay.
I know nothing about you other than that I've met you now for a second time.
Okay.
Tell us about you.
So I am an original artist from South Jersey, Cherry Hill. Probably been playing guitar now for a little over 20 years. And I guess I really fell in love with music when the 90s came about, like the grunge scene, and that kind of something about that dark undertone and the gritty vocals, and just something about that drew me into that style of music.
Now, before you go on,
Okay.
I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I'm going to interrupt you for a second. We talked about your son, Mason,
Yes.
and how I could pick up on the whole Kurt Cobain and Nirvana vibe there.
Yes. Yes.
I'm going to go on a limb,
Okay.
and most times when I do that, I'm too heavy, so they break off.
This is true.
Okay.
But I'm
You
going to
heard a
go out
rockabye
on a limb
baby
there.
on the treetop.
So my question to you is, yay or nay,
Okay.
Chris Cornell, Soundgarden?
Yay now, nay then.
Okay, because I noticed that in
Yeah.
your vocal stylings,
Okay.
kind of like
Okay.
Black Hole Sun.
Yeah, I did like some of their hits when believe it or not when Bush came about. So I was like I I guess then it was like either like Bush or Nirvana, because one they would always say that Bush was copying Nirvana, or so. But something about 16 Stone, their first album when it came out, I just was blown away by his lyric, like his writing style, and the just the music. I was just taken back, even by the imagery on the videos, and Nirvana, and Candlebox was another one. Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. I interrupted you. So go ahead.
So-
Playing guitar for 20 years.
Yeah. So when I was introduced to that style, that immediately I was drawn, and right around then was when I was graduating high school, and I was done with sports. I was big into football and baseball, and didn't really know what I was going to be filling my time with now. So hearing that style of music inspired me to start playing guitar. So I started teaching myself here and there. I really wasn't putting it together. A lot of my buddies were in bands, and I wasn't getting much help from them. So I was trying to figure out how to play guitar myself. Didn't really do lessons. But I taught myself enough because I really wanted to get into songwriting. And so it probably hurt myself not taking lessons, like maybe learning how to do leads or something like that. But I just wanted to learn enough guitar that I could start songwriting. And I've been doing it off and on probably since like maybe 2000 and on. And I tried to form a band, and I guess I just wasn't. It took me a long time to the whole playing and singing to be good enough to where they've already were pretty accomplished, and I just wasn't quite where I needed to be vocally and to lead a band. And but I've always written songs where I could perform and perform them on my own, whether I was in a band or not. So I always brought if like we were in a band together, I would bring a full finished song so that you could just add your parts. But if we decided we're not going to be in a band anymore, I could still go play the song myself.
Smart.
Yeah. Just
No,
so-
it's very,
yeah.
I mean, because I noticed on this CD, Repent,
Yep.
where it's a 4-song EP, as we said, and essentially it's you, and your son does some harmony and backing vocals.
Yep.
And Sean Danielson,
Yes.
a little bit of lead guitar, some bass, percussion,
Basically everything else.
and a little bit of. But there's percussion is far different from drums. So, I mean, you went with that, and this is a great disc, by the way. When
Thank
you sent me the
Thank
music last week, I listened to it. It really is. Where can we find this, by the way?
This is on all streaming platforms. If you just digitally stream everything, I do have a website, peterscavello.com, that you can order vinyl or CDs, and I have other merch there. But yeah, it's basically distributed anywhere that you can stream, or I even have music videos for everything.
Now, is it Savello or Scavello?
Scavello.
Okay, with a
Yeah.
C, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I don't know if it was silent or not. Unlike me. I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there, producer
Oh,
Claire.
man, you beat me to it.
But if you wanted to touch on that, so Sean Danielson is the lead singer for Smile Empty Soul, and he's Smile Empty Soul is like an early 2000s grunge band that had a couple radio hits like Bottom of a Bottle or Silhouettes, and I've been following them since the early 2000s. I got to know him over the years, and probably been to 50 or 60 plus shows, and have gotten become good friends and gotten personal with him. So he would ask me time to time, how's music going? Like, are you recording anything? And at the time, I was struggling to find somebody to work with. There was definitely some great talented studios around, but it just wasn't the right fit for the music style. So I was like, do you mind listening to something? I said, I got a couple decent demos, but it's just after the demo, the production after, there was no direction. So I'd sent it to him, and he immediately knew. He's like, look, I know exactly what you need. And he's like, the only problem is he's like, the studio I use is in St. Louis.
And we're not.
and he lives in Arkansas. So
Right.
he's like, I would love to do it. And Sean's he's my favorite artist. So it was, it wouldn't have mattered if he gave me a turd in return. Like I would have just sold everything to get to work with him. And but it was a great experience. Like we did a couple Zoom calls and went over a couple things because I'd sent him the tracks, and he's like, I want you to work on this, and basically the deal was, he's like, look, I'll bring my RV because that's what he uses the touring now. He's like, I'll bring my RV. He's like, you and your son can stay on the RV with me, so you don't have to pay for any housing or anything like that. And he's like, we'll park right in the studio parking lot, and
Nice.
he's like, we'll wake up, get in the studio at 9 o'clock, and usually it was like almost 9 to 9, and then just take like a lunch and a dinner break. But it was just 4 days of straight, basically a song a day, but just
Right.
4 days
Awesome.
working with, and it made it a little like not as nerve. I think if I didn't know him before, I would have been like really nervous to play in front of him, but.
Not living in an RV in a parking lot with a guy to play guitar in front of him.
priorities.
But like I always try to explain, because I mean, I don't know who your favorite music artist is, but it's like getting to work with your favorite music artist in studio, or even getting to play a song for him, and to be able to have that experience was just like that. You don't even think that's an option for your bucket list. So I'm like, this is awesome. Like, and I always made the joke that like the stars are going to have to align for me to record the album that I want to do, or the CD I want to do. And the weekend that we did it was during the eclipse.
Oh, that's
So I'm like,
can't get
it
better
wasn't
than
stars,
that.
but
It's a big star.
So-
That was a star.
No, I understand. Yeah, I've never actually had the opportunity to perform with anybody that I ever idolized. I've gotten to meet some of them
Right.
through this show and other things. I did get to play with Gary Hoey, guitar player, guy who used to be Lita Ford's producer, and
oh, okay.
Gary, I'll never forget that. I was emceeing the epilepsy benefit on at the Stone Pony, and there were like 700 people there. And Gary come over to me and he's like, "Danny, if I'm the bass player, we'll jam a little bit." I was like, "Cool." So I got to jam with Gary Hoey on a drum kit. But I did some percussion with Ed Roland of Collective Soul before.
Oh, nice.
I've done,
Okay.
I did a half a set with Al Stewart, Year of the Cat, Al Stewart, that guy. And,
Okay. That's cool.
but the greatest was that Sam Cooke tribute. I got to play with guys from Living Color,
Oh,
Doug
wow.
Wimbush
Yeah.
and Corey Glover, and
Yeah, yeah. Those guys still kick it.
Gary
yeah.
U.S.
Yeah.
Bonds, Chris Trapper from the Push Stars, Danelia Cotton, Paul Pesco, who's a guitarist for Alicia Keys and
Sarah
when
Dash.
they tours. Sarah Dash before she passed away from LaBelle.
Oh, wow.
Jeffrey Gaines. I got that, which was just. But it's one of them moments. You just look around. You're like, do I belong here? You know? But that's cool that you got to do that. That's great. It's funny because just today, I was thinking how with now the Deco. Did you see Deco? One of the things they're distributing is the a Led Zeppelin thing.
Oh, you're all happy. That's
so
good.
I am happy. I gotta see if I can.
Swipe one of those? Or?
Yeah, you're gonna have to distract Bruce, and I'll just go into a little. But I started thinking, like, I've interviewed Jason Bonham before,
Okay.
but if I got to interview either Paige Plant or John Paul Jones, I would be like, like I was when I interviewed Nancy Wilson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or BB Newworth.
You got to go there. You never miss a chance to go there with BB Newworth.
Love your BB Newworth.
Yeah, true.
You turned beet red.
And she was on the phone. You know who BB Newworth is?
No, I'm not familiar.
Remember show Cheers?
Oh, yes.
Frasier's wife, Lilith.
Okay, yeah.
She's from Princeton. That's BB
Oh,
Newworth.
okay.
Yeah, she's so talented. She's hysterical.
Yeah. And she, when I went to see her, I think she looked in my direction. And
Ooh. You turned even more red?
yeah.
Probably.
I think I threw up a little bit.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, I was so excited.
All right, change the subject.
All right, thank you. So that's really cool that you know.
Yeah, it was exciting. And like I said, getting to know them before, they didn't make me feel like I wouldn't have a say or anything like that when I was in the studio. So it was just, like friends, accomplishing a goal, and felt like I was at the same level, which was nice. Yeah.
I know that's something that a lot of bands struggle with because they think they got a good producer and they really don't, because the producer and engineer, they want to make it sound like what they think sounds good, and a lot of them don't pay attention to the artist and what the artist wants. And if the artist is wrong, okay, tell me why.
Right.
Don't just say, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And try to take me in a direction that is. I know several artists who I loved their music until they made a CD, and it was like, well, that's not you.
Yeah.
Who is that? That's not your sound. Who is that?
Yeah, and unfortunately, that production takes the originality away from.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I said I'd talk about it on air, but this disc of yours, Repent, has got a nice live sound to it.
Thank you.
It's very well, at least I think it's very well produced.
Thank you. That's exactly what we were going for. Like, the goal originally when I went to the studio was to have, because before that, all I had was a wedding song that I released and another song that was done by the same producers, and it just, if you listen to those two songs, they're done well, but if you listen to those compared to that, the styles are completely different. So trying to book better shows or direct somebody to go hear me somewhere when they can't see me, it wasn't a good representation of my music. And the goal when I went into the studio was to have 4 solid songs that people could go listen to and be able to hear it the same way when they come out to see me. I didn't want it to be too much different because I just perform solo, and with no intentions of ever having a band again. And the idea was to have a little bit of percussion, just some accents to help replace not having the visual, but to keep it sounding as true to what it sounds like when you come listen to me play.
The good thing about being a solo artist is you know who to blame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know who gets the praise, you know who gets the blame. So if you're just tuning in, this is Rock on Radio. My guest this evening is Pete, or you go by Pete or Peter?
I go by Pete, but Peter's my full name. I mean,
okay.
My nanny used to only call me Peter.
When he knew you were in trouble.
Yeah.
Pete Scavello is here with us. Let's do some music. You want to do something live, or would you like Claire to pick something off the album? You tell me.
I could do either. I could play. Well, since we're talking about Repent, we might as well maybe play the first track off there. Crazy.
You want Claire to
Sure.
pull that up? Okay. You want to preface it in any way, shape, or form, or does
Crazy
it speak for itself?
I mean, Crazy. I think it kind of speaks for itself.
Okay.
Crazy is a song that I wrote about. It's just about finding your way through life. Just everyone's different. Everyone has a different path, and it's just you got to get there. It's called Crazy. See, it kind of says it in the chorus. Kind of makes it self-explanatory, but Yeah, crazy and just running in circles and just trying to find your way.
Well, I can't walk fast. I just assume you'll be late. You try and reach out for all the time it will take, and all the miles in between, all the miles in between. Now, yeah, now. Well, maybe I'm crazy. It wasn't I just couldn't stay, been running in circles, just trying to find my way, yeah. Well, maybe I'm crazy, just trying to find my way. Well, maybe I'm crazy, just trying to find my way. Balance. I'll try and stand on my own feet. It's tough to manage all the voices and the screams, and all the miles in between, all the miles in between. Now, yeah, now. Well, maybe I'm crazy. It wasn't I just couldn't stay, been running in circles, just trying to find my way, yeah. Well, maybe I'm crazy, just trying to find my way. Well, maybe I'm crazy, just trying to find my way. Just trying to find my way, yeah. Well, maybe I'm crazy, just trying to find my way. Well, maybe I'm crazy, just trying to find my way.
Peter Scavello, the song called Crazy.
Like it. Wow. So
Crazy,
nice.
man.
Thank you.
Crazy. So, off the CD or EP called Repent. Now, I have several questions
Sure.
About that. Number one.
Are they serious questions?
Hopefully I can answer them.
Now, and don't be embarrassed to admit this
Yeah.
because it's usually the reason why. And I don't mean anything by it in any way, shape, or form. It's a 4-song EP.
Yep.
Most people say that's all they had the cash for. That's all they had because studio time is expensive.
Yeah.
Was there any thought to expanding it, or was it just a matter of finances?
I had a 5th song, but there wasn't enough time, so I had to lock in what I thought I could, like way ahead of time.
Well,
so, like, I'm already locked. Yeah,
because you were in St. Louis.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And like for instance, I'm going back in April to do another 4.
Oh, cool.
And
Excellent.
yeah,
Staying in the RV.
yeah, same thing again.
Works
yeah.
out.
And you can call it Repent again. Or you call it Ye.
Repeat. There's repent and repeat.
Repent ye, and the third one will be sinners.
No.
You never like, and you're not receptive to any of my
Nothing.
ideas.
Absolutely nothing. I'm never receptive. That's why I'm such a good producer.
True. Very true. All right, so
But it was cash, yes, and it
Okay,
also
yeah.
was.
and you didn't tell
The
your
way-
wife that you took your son? Have you seen Mason?
It was a great. Well, so it was a great experience that I brought him because one, I wanted
bet.
him to see the process, but he also, you could see that there's minimal harmonies on that song on Crazy, but he did harmonies on Crazy and actually on Violet Skies and Rain. I'm not naturally gifted. I have to really when I write a song, I have to play it 800 to 1,000 times literally before I get it brainwashed and perform it, and then I play it for my wife, and she gives me the okay if I'm singing in key and all that nonsense. But my son is just naturally always sings in key. He's only been playing guitar for 2 years, and he's playing way better than me already. But he there was a part when we were doing Violet Skies and Rain when we were recording. We had written some harmonies. Sean was showing me how he writes harmonies, and he's like, "Look, I'm going to go in the vocal booth, and I'm going to lay it down, and then I just want you to go in there and do it, sing along with me, and just." But as soon as I did that, I learned the part, and when they would push record, I would naturally just go back to what I was doing before, thinking I'm doing the part, but I was just singing what I always sing. And I couldn't do it. And my son basically was like, he's like, "Dad, just get out of there. I can do it." I was like,
Whoa,
"Great."
old guy.
Typical.
My son just upstaged me. I was like, "Great."
Yeah. Well,
But
if
he
anybody's
went in
gonna
there and did it
upstage
in
you,
a couple takes, and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy."
There you go.
Nice.
See?
But yeah, it was great. He got to play a song for them too, and the studio producer or the engineer and the producer Sean both liked his song, and he's actually, when I go back in April, he's going there to record 2 songs as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, his are going to be full band. The grunge sound that you heard. It's
Right.
yeah, that's going to be happening.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, good for him. If you're just tuning in, my guest is Peter Scavello here on Rock On Radio. Websites and social media and all that, what do we have?
Yeah, we got peterscavello.com, which will connect you to everything I'm on. Bands in town, not TikTok yet, but YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Pretty much anything I got, it's on there. It links you to everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's with the title? Repent.
Repent. So a lot of the songs are based. A lot of the songs are based around a lot of struggles and they're based around a lot of the struggles and the journey of life and it just seemed fitting, because it if you're not learning from your mistakes and if you're not learning from your mistakes and you're not willing to grow from them, I just don't know what you're doing. You know what I mean? It seemed like such a fitting title for the songs that I had on the EP, and as soon as I came across it, it just grabbed me
sense.
right away. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, take us through the songwriting process.
Okay.
How does Pete Scavello write his material? Now, I ask that question every now and then, and it gets confused with what influences you. I don't really want to know what influences you.
Yeah.
What I want to know is how you process a song. Because otherwise I'll get the same basic answers. Well, life influences me. Or this influenced that.
Yeah,
It's like, no!
And I assumed when I started doing it that everybody did it the same way, and I'm recently finding out, listening through different podcasts, that everyone has a different process, whether it's the writing first or the guitar first or like driving along and you find an inspiration somewhere. For me, it's always the guitar first, and I'll basically sit down and I could probably play the same A minor or E minor for a week, but for whatever reason, the one day I go in there and I strum it, and it just has a different ring to it that day. So I'll sit there and just write a verse, like just a riff, and I'll just play along. And as I'm trying to build on that, I actually start humming like a melody, and as I'm going, the humming turns into words, believe it or not. And when I come up with a melody that I like and I keep humming it to try to decorate it more, those words start to develop, and I start writing out verses. And I've even written complete songs just humming out the melody and not really looking back on what the song means until I'm completely done it. And I've heard people use it before as like a phrase, almost like it, that sometimes you're just the vessel and the songs come to you, but I'm not sure what that process is, but that's what it is for me. I hum the songs and they form into words, and then sometimes even a story. And I could see it if I start to pay attention to it early on when I'm doing it. I see it start to take shape, and it's definitely about something. And I don't know if it's my subconscious writing it, but it's every song on this EP and even some of the new ones that I'm going to play for you tonight they've all been done that way. I've never sat down and actually said, you know what, today I'm sitting down and I'm writing about this. I never do that.
Something to be said for that, too. So how important are lyrics to you then?
They are important to me, and that's what's like. So I will look back on it if I feel like it's not strong, and I'll look back on it and I see the topic and I can adjust some of the words to make it have more meaning. But yeah, I don't play anything, like I won't put anything out finished that doesn't feel like has some kind of strong meaning to it.
Okay.
But it's strange, the whole subconscious thing. Like I still curious myself where they're coming from, but yeah, that's the process for me. And I actually taught that to my son too.
I got cat scratch fever going through my head. I don't know where they come from, but they sure do come. I hope they're coming for me.
I taught that to my son, and he does the same thing, and it's really interesting because some of the lyrics that he comes up with, I'm like an 18-year-old kid should not be writing songs like this.
Right?
Yeah. I get worried if I dive in too deep,
That is that we all have our own processes and things, and it's good that you and he can support each other. Now, was that your wife and daughter?
Yes.
There as well?
Yep.
They seem very supportive of you.
Oh yeah, they know every word to both of our songs.
I saw that, but once or twice I looked up and I could see your daughter singing along.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that's support.
Yeah,
right
she knows every word to both of our songs, and I know when I mess up, if I glance up, like she's like making a face at me, like
what's wrong with
just
you,
missed
Dad?
That.
Daughters don't do that, do they? I have 4 of them, so I know.
My daughter texted me last night, Dad, I have access to Girl Scout cookies.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah? She's like, how many boxes do you want? I'm like, none. Come on, you don't want Girl Scouts? All right, fine. Give me peanut butter patty. She's like, that's it? And I'm like, who are you selling these things for? It's your strong arm and your father.
Because you get like 2 cookies now for like $10.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
$6 a box.
Is
now.
it 6 now? Oh my gosh. My neighbor
I got
sells
shook
them.
down last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got some
Well, what I do now, my neighbor's the only one I support, and I don't really support Girl Scout per se, but I say, here's $20 cash. Put it towards whatever trip you're going on for your troop, just local. I said, I don't want any cookies. No, thank you.
Well, by the way, before we continue, it should be known that this afternoon, or by the time this show airs, I obviously we record this a couple days ahead of time. But on the Sunday that this airs, I am in a chili contest at Tyndall Road Brewery.
Oh, crock on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Crock on
What
Chili
time?
makes its return.
What time was it?
2 to 5.
2 to 5. Interesting. Very
So
good.
exactly.
Go get
So
your
next
crock
week
on.
you'll have to wait for the results.
That's right. Oh, that's right. You're the big
I have
winner.
a plan. I plan on making the chili.
Mm-hmm.
It's a popular vote though, so
Oh, you got to get people
nobody
out.
likes me well enough to come there and vote for my chili. So
Does that mean I have to go?
yeah, so I'll get one vote. Well, maybe not. You might not even vote for my chili.
You're spicy.
But you got to try this one. Yeah.
Bring your daughter.
Yeah, Maura loves
Maura
it.
loves my
Gracie
chili.
loves it. Yeah.
So-
So,
So, but what I plan on doing is getting them drunk enough with the Stay Puft Marshmallow. I don't know, have you ever had Brooklyn's chocolate stout?
I haven't, no.
Any kind of chocolate, like Yingling makes one, Brooklyn. That's what this beer tastes like. It's
Nice.
actually
Okay.
really good. It's not sweet.
Ooh,
Yeah,
It's not overpowering. It's got a hint of chocolate.
nice.
that's nice. Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah, correct. So, meanwhile, I'm back at Pete Scavello. Well, why don't we do some more music?
Sure.
What would you like to do?
I can do a new one since we're talking about song right
A
now.
new one?
Yeah.
Has this ever been played on the air before?
It's never been played on the air. No.
Nice.
Whoa, 2 weeks in a row, a
Whoa,
world premiere! Yay! Sunday, Sunday, Sunday!
Raceway Park.
We digress. Correct.
Easily amused.
So what, did you play this past Sunday? When
I did.
saw you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So this has been like a new. This will probably be the first release off the next EP. This has kind of been like a new fan favorite. It's called Stretch. It's about being in a difficult relationship or a friendship that doesn't really work for you, and you basically figure out I don't know why it's human nature, but you kind of figure out a way to manipulate and stretch the truth to, try to sell it to everybody else or even yourself, sell it to yourself that it's working for you when you know in your heart that it's not. And everybody on the outside looking in can see that it's no good for you. So this is it's called Stretch.
Pete Scavello.
Was it something I said, just walk away from you? It's that feeling I get, I don't have a clue. Not talking with you. Will I bury all this down in the city and the crowd? Just lost with you. Just lost with you. 'Cause I stretch every thought I've ever had in this mess. Done talking with you. 'Cause I spend all the time I've ever had in regret. Done talking with you. In the morning I reach out for the sun. I'll take a deep breath. What have I begun? Not talking with you. Will I bury all this down in the city and the crowd? Just lost with you. just lost with you. 'Cause I stretch every thought I've ever had in this mess. Done talking with you, done talking with you. 'Cause I spent all the time I've ever had in regret. Done talking with you, done talking with you. 'Cause I spent all the time I've ever had in regret. Done talking with you, done talking with you. Will I bury all this down in the city, in the crowd, just lost with you, just lost with you, just lost with you, just lost with you. 'Cause I stretch every thought I've ever had in this mess. Done talking with you, done talking with you. 'Cause I spent all the time I've ever had in regret. Done talking with you, done talking with you. Will I bury all this down in the city, in the crowd, just lost with you, just lost with you.
Peter Scavello here.
Thank
on
you.
Rock on Radio, the world premiere of a song called
Stretch.
There you go. Fantastic.
Nice.
So, why do you think that is? That people look. The hardest thing for any human being to do is look in a mirror
For sure.
and and say, "Wow, I got to make this right," or "I really screwed up," without saying, "I really screwed up," but
Right.
you know, one of the traits that myself and Claire are well aware of in narcissistic behavior is that it's never their fault.
Right.
You know, guilty with an asterisk.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it's always somebody else's fault. And as a whole, society has become that way.
Exactly. For sure. Yeah.
And I always go back to the thing that happened, God, it's got to be 20, 30 years ago now at least or more, where the woman spilled a cup of hot coffee in her lap from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And she sues McDonald's so then McDonald's, this is why you have to put stuff on like Vaseline, do not ingest. I mean, common sense.
Right.
Well, actually, it wasn't as uncommon as you think. They did cook their coffee way too hot. It really was
Oh, and that's fine.
damaging to her.
okay.
So, I mean, she wasn't that foolish, but yeah.
Well, no, she's getting hot coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, to this day, I went to Dunkin' Donuts on the way home from my parents' house just because I hadn't had a cup of coffee all day. It was like 2:00 in the afternoon. And if I don't have at least a half a cup, I sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes get a headache.
Oh, I thought you said you sometimes get grumpy.
No. Peter, for the record, I am never grumpy.
Never grumpy.
I am the epitome of happy. Can't you tell?
Grumpy.
I can relate though. You need that at least a half cup.
Yeah, at least a half a cup. Right?
Something, yeah.
So I go to Dunkin' Donuts and they gave me this coffee, and I got it at Dunkin' Donuts where the Route 530 and 539 come together by the Wawa,
You should have gotten a Wawa.
which is at least which is like 15 minutes from your house and like another 20 minutes from mine. I could not drink that coffee until I hit right around Cream Ridge Golf Course, which is about 15 minutes from my house.
Yeah, it's true.
And it took a good but if I spilled it on myself, not only would I have been highly aggravated, but it never would have crossed my mind to get a lawyer and sue.
Yeah.
I ordered hot coffee. If it wasn't hot, I'd be ticked about that too.
Yeah, for sure.
So, in the day and age where it's very difficult for people to look at themselves and accept their faults or what they did wrong,
Right.
without and be able to resist the urge to blame somebody else for it,
Yeah.
is very stand-up thing if you can do it.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just curious. You wrote that song. I mean, why do you think that is?
I honestly, because like I said before, it's like a subconscious thing. But I mean, that does happen around me a lot. I see, people are struggling in their relationships and they vent on you, or and I think a lot of time, like, to maybe expand on your point too, or on the song's point, that I think some people are afraid to get out of their comfort zone, like to maybe stand up and say something might change and rock their whole world, or might change everything, or it even might make it better, but they're afraid of what might happen. So they just, instead of confronting it, they stretch the truth, stretch the truth to everyone else. When people, some people don't want to be the bad friend and say something to someone that something might not be working for you. And you can have respect for someone who does that, but these, I guess what the song's about is the person that's in it just finds it necessary to, like, no, it's, everything's okay. Like, you can just trying to make everything better and smooth it over, and everything is fine, but when in actuality it's not. And I think maybe it's a comfort zone thing. I don't know.
And speaking of comfort zones, how important to you as a musician is it to step out of yours?
Like, this is definitely out of my comfort zone. I've never been interviewed before. So.
No?
Oh, you're doing good.
Thank you.
You want me to leave?
We get some of those chocolate stouts. I'll go with you.
Now that's more comfortable. That's about halfway between. You're probably good.
So you've never done radio before?
No, never interview or anything.
Well, just so you know,
this is not radio.
you'll never do another show like this. This isn't like radio.
So when I get through
Even
this
though
one,
it
I'm
is
gonna be
radio.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not. I guess. People say, "Do you get nervous anymore when you play?" I don't. I've been past couple years. I've been trying to play out 2 to 3 times a week, whether it's an open mic or a show. So as far as getting up and playing and performing for people, I don't get nervous anymore. Now, if you were to ask me to stand up and read something for someone or something like that, that's a different story. That's out of my comfort zone.
Right. Yeah, and that's true, because I'll never forget when my uncle passed away some years back. I had been doing the show for a couple of years, and I was asked by my cousin to read in church.
Right.
And here I am standing in church, and there might have been 50 or 60 people in the church, and I looked out at them, and I started to read. And as I'm reading, I find myself getting nervous. Now, I've emceed benefits, like I said, the Stone Pony, 700 people inside.
Yeah.
How many? Joe Weimer's CD release party at the Wonder Bar, 500 people. Never once got nervous.
But was it the reading that was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? I mean, there are certain ones you really don't want to be one reading.
Well, yeah.
There's lots of mispronunciation possibilities.
True. Very true. So, yeah, well, and stepping out of your comfort zone as a musician, I think, only benefits you.
Yes.
Even if you learn what not to do.
Yes. Exactly,
from it.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many musicians, and we do talk about it from time to time on this program, where they do really great. Let's take your situation. You do really great at Dr. Brewlittle's.
Yeah.
So that's the only place you stay is Dr. Brewlittle's.
Right.
Maybe a mile down the road there's another bar. You go down there, maybe you'll do great there.
Exactly.
But a lot of people are afraid to go down there because, well, I always feel good about myself here.
Yeah.
Why would I want to go there?
Exactly. Yeah.
How do you grow as an artist?
Yeah.
You've got to take the bad with the good.
For sure. Yeah.
I remember when this show first started, I had a guy that was on AM terrestrial radio, and a guy comes on, and he was bad. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. He was not a very good artist. His guitar playing was okay, but his voice and the songs themselves weren't that good.
Okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me. I treated the guy the same as I treat anybody that is on this show
Okay.
or calls into this
Except me.
show. Except you, yeah. So, oh, boy.
I'm
So,
spatial.
what?
I'm spatial.
Oh, special. Okay. So, so, but the guy came in and he said to me, this is great because, my mom, my dad, my brothers and sisters, all my cousins always want me to play my songs at our family picnics. And it kind of hit me. I said, well, do you go out and play them anywhere else? He goes, no, usually just in my backyard. Okay. Now, your family's, actually, some of my family would, but your family's not going to look at you and say you stink.
Yeah. They're going to tell you what you want to hear.
What you do with the money? What money? The money your mother gave you for lessons. Yeah, right. They're going to say, "Oh, good job," or "That's nice." And sometimes you need to be told, well, "Dude, man, that one. What the heck was that?" When you listen to this in a couple days, or I'm saying that because it airs in a couple days from that we recorded here from the fabulous 2-track studios of Deco Entertainment. Shameless plug. You're going to listen to that live performance and you're going to pick it apart because that's what we do as musicians.
Yeah.
Right? And that's out of your comfort zone. Because now you can't hide that song. The 17 billion listeners of this program are
16.
999. Yeah, okay. Anyway, now people are going to hear that.
Yeah.
And they're going to think, and I just had this discussion with Judy Collins about that. And she was saying how I said, with your poems, as a music artist, your lyrics are always open to interpretation. Are your poems the same way? And she started laughing and she said, Danny, life is open to interpretation. Everybody's going to see something differently.
Because she's looked at life from both sides now.
Correct. Yeah. And so I guess the point I'm making is if you don't step out and allow people to applaud, compliment, criticize, or ridicule, you're never going to, as an artist, you're going to be happy playing Dr. Brewlittle's.
Right.
Shameless plug for Dr. Brewlittle.
They're getting some good ones, right?
So it's very, well, then good for you, man. Congratulations doing
Thank
it.
you.
I'm glad that this is your first radio show appearance.
Yay.
That's right. After this, it'll get a lot easier.
Although they may not be as nice.
That's true.
Just saying.
See, but here he's got 2 hours to tell us all about him.
That's right.
And when he goes
Have it forever.
when he goes on like XPN or something, they'll give him 15 minutes.
And you got to talk fast.
And you got to talk fast. So, stepping outside of your comfort zone is not easy, and a lot of artists don't do it. But if you don't, I think it takes away from your chance to experience things, which is kind of like a domino, because then that'll affect how you write or your lyrics
For
or
sure,
your
yeah.
and you're going to play to the same audience. Well, they like this one, maybe they'll like this one too.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
have you ever has that ever happened to you while you're writing, where you're trying to put the people's perception above your own?
I try not to do that. Honestly, my process pretty much stays the same. I don't really consider. I've been writing songs for 20 years now, so off and on, but I'm doing it more, staying pretty consistent the last 5 or 6. I just have like a style that I developed, and I kind of just stay true to that. I don't, and people are responding to it, and
That's fabulous.
yeah.
No,
So I just feel like I don't want to break the formula, and it is evolving, and I noticed that the style's evolving a little bit. There's a couple new songs the 2 of them I'm gonna play tonight that have more of like a backwoods type of feel to it, and
Well, you're in the right place then.
yeah. But
Should we
yeah,
go?
so I think it's
we should-
evolving, and I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I think that way too.
We should take it outside and out there with the coyotes and the black bear that wander around here every now and
The
then. The fox, 17,000 deer in that field. Well, yeah, I think you're right, and there's a big difference between style and sounding the same.
Yeah, for sure.
So when you were a kid and you listened to music, what did you listen to? And did that change after you started playing the guitar?
So when I was a kid, I was introduced to my parents introduced me to probably like David Bowie and Heart, and then later, I guess as late '80s came in, like Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. But I wasn't really like I was interested in the music, wasn't like in love with it until the '90s came, and I'm still following the '90s and also the post grunge bands. I just love that style, and that sound's kind of developed into maybe like more of like a hard rock, kind of like the bands that were inspired by that same sound. So I'm still kind of listening to the same bands, but I think my style, because I can appreciate anything live. I won't necessarily listen to different genres digitally, like or at work or something like that. I kind of stay to the same sound, but anything live I can appreciate, because I know the hours that I put in to practice or to write or whatever. I can appreciate that hard work. So when I'm out and I see them playing, I know all the work that goes into that, and I really enjoy watching people play guitar, or even watching like just studying how they made a melody to it, or any kind of that kind of I appreciate that stuff. So I do enjoy watching that live, different genres, but not.
Do you have a favorite songwriter?
A favorite songwriter probably going to be Sean Danielson or Gavin Rossdale.
The following announcement was a paid publicity. Yes, now you get free studio time.
Right? Yeah.
Get that Danielson on the phone right now. And you get the big bunk in the RV.
Right.
There you go. See? I'm an idea man. See how I
You
help
are.
people?
It may not be good ideas, but it is an idea, man.
Telling you, Pete, she never likes any of my ideas.
Wah, wah, wah.
I'm actually having my son in the house now too. The melodies that he comes up with, and we kind of bounce ideas off each other. If we get stuck on something, we
That's
help
cool.
each other out. People have asked us, like, you guys going to ever do a song together? But we both have our own thing that we're doing, and it's kind of been working out like that. So we help each other. That's about it. Yeah.
Well, how old is he now? Your
He's
son?
18.
He's 18. Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of, fortunately or unfortunately for me, my son never really showed an interest in music, even though I'm a musician.
Right.
And he was never a big sports guy. And now he runs marathons and stuff, but that's a whole
Iron Man.
different thing, right? I can't even. The only thing I run to is the refrigerator. But he, maybe the liquor store.
Probably.
But I can imagine that must be so cool to be like, because when you were changing his diaper, you weren't thinking one day we're going to be playing music together.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
So, how cool is that to be able to work?
It is.
That
It's
with
really
your
been
son?
awesome. Like one bringing him to the studio was like an incredible experience, but watching him step out of his shell, because he's always had a great singing voice. But like I said, recently he picked up the guitar, and it's been 2 years now he's been playing, and his ability to sing and play is remarkable. But to be able to spend, like I said, I go out 3 times a week, and he's with me, and we both go up and do our own thing. But to just bring him along, we're hanging out 3 times a week, and we have a good time. So it's to be able to spend that time is just like incredible. It's really something.
That's
Yeah.
great. It's a good.
Yeah.
It's a good. Now, how about your wife or your daughter? Are they musically inclined in any way?
My daughter is a very good singer, and she doesn't write, but she's a very good
Yet.
singer. And you mentioned Cornell, so she plays like Soundgarden songs or Alice in Chains songs, but she
Okay.
kind of makes them in her own style. But her singing voice is beautiful. Like she doesn't like people staring at her or performing. So it's
How old is she?
she's 20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
She'll grow out of it.
yeah. I'm hoping, because her voice is really like she's got her own style. It's like it's really
That's awesome.
it's really good. She's beautiful. So I'm sure it wouldn't be long before she had a following.
Right.
Yeah.
My daughter used to sing in high school and everything, and as a junior, her piano or her choir director said to her, he called me, and he's like, he was looking for somebody to sing the national anthem at a football game, because the girl who was supposed to do it, the senior, backed out. So he called me,
Okay.
and he said, "Where's your daughter? I can't get a hold of her." So I said, let me try to find out. So I call her and I get her. She's like, "Nope, no way, Dad. Not doing it."
It's hard. You have to have a lot of nerve.
I'm
Yeah.
like, "Why?" She goes, "Are you kidding me? If I hit a wrong note, I'll be made fun of all day long." I said, "Well, then don't hit a wrong note. What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's odd because like she could still sing to this day, my daughter, but she doesn't like the attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
Actually, you do. Even when you do hit a wrong note, you just gotta keep going.
You
It's
got to
just,
keep going. You
it's
can't
just-
be phased. Yeah.
Right.
In college, I did at a basketball game. I did the national anthem, and I cracked. And then I was like, "Screw it!" Halfway, there, I just belted out the rest of it. I was just like, "Not gonna stop now."
And there you go. And then see what happens. Then like here she is now,
So afraid to do it.
whatever it is, 10 years or almost 10 years later.
Yeah.
She's strong arming me for Girl Scout cookies. So
She's found her niche.
is there a correlation?
It seems like a lot of people battle with like the anxiety or like they feel like people are just gonna laugh at them. Like that's like I know my daughter just thinks if she goes up there and she gets too nervous that she just thinks there's people waiting to laugh at her. Or I know a lot of people deal
That
with
sounds
that.
like my
But
daughter.
most people, like when I go out now, I think most people really just want people to do good. They're just the
Right,
people
they
that go
cheer
up to
for them.
perform just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't until I was actually 48 and I had voice lessons that I actually stopped being nervous singing in front of people.
Oh, okay.
So tell her to get voice lessons early. She'll feel so much better. It's true, though.
But they're who I like. My wife and daughter are who I ask. Well, even my son now, but they're usually who I ask if because I think I'm tone deaf. So, like I'll be just playing along. I write something new, and my wife's like, "You're way out." I'm like, "Wait, what? Really?" I'm like, "It sounds like it's in." She's like, "Record yourself. It's out. It's horrible." I'm like, really? That's why I'm telling you, I got to play it like
See?
800 or 1,000 times.
Now that's what that guy that came on my show 15, almost 16 years ago, that's what he needed.
You need
Somebody
someone to
say,
be honest with him.
fix that. Yes. So let's do some more music. What do you want to do? You want to do
Oh, since we have my daughter, I can. So she was in a. I actually got her to be in a music video for me.
Nice.
okay.
So the last release for Repent is a song called "Can't Stay," and that song is 20 years old. The song is about my mother-in-law. Well, it was inspired by my mother-in-law, Sharon West, and so 20 years ago, I was dating my wife at the time. My mother-in-law she had gotten the news that she has cancer, so she was going through a battle of it, and she was like, every family has those few people that are like the glue or the people that enjoy getting people together, and like, so she was like that kind of person. So I'm like, I might tear up on these, but she,
Take your time, man.
but so at the time I'm like, wow, because I didn't really deal with a lot of death or like news like that in my family. So, when I heard that, I was like, wow, this is really affecting the family a lot. Like I could see, my father-in-law was like upset about it, and so it inspired me to write a song called "Can't Stay." It's kind of almost in my own perspective, but it's in the perspective of a husband losing his wife to cancer, and it's like a reflection song. So if you can like imagine being in an empty house now, that you're like kind of staring at a window and visioning her standing there, or like just reflecting on good times and the struggles in the house, and this song is the only song that's on the EP that is 20 years old. All the other ones were less than a year old, but this song was the very first time I visited Dr. Brewlittle's the play. There was a guy, John. He'll love that I call him out. I think I called him out at that event we were at. But John had come over to me after I played it, and it was like, I really love that song, and that was the first time I had gotten like a nice natural reaction to me playing out. Because before I was just always playing shows that friends were coming to. I just relied on friends to show up, and they didn't necessarily like my music. They were just out there to support, and they probably weren't listening. So I just this maybe 2 years ago, I started saying like, you know what, I'm going to play, because I grew up in Philly. So I live in Cherry Hill. So I started playing the local breweries. There's a lot of open mics there, or they have shows, like book a show there. So I started playing these open mics to see if I can get any kind of reaction or build up some kind of following or something, just to get some natural feedback from people who don't know me. And that was the first time I had gotten feedback on a song. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to come here every Thursday or every other Thursday and play this song for this guy. And this song is kind of just taken off there. Like, it's gotten to the point where they turn the lights off and everybody's waving their camera lights and stuff. And I've never thought that would happen to me in my life. But
Nice.
they sing along and they know the words. I'm like,
Oh, that's cool.
maybe better than I do. You know?
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
But
awesome.
so get back to my daughter, because it was inspired by my mother-in-law. I said to my wife, I'm like, look, I have one more release, because I've released everything as singles. I have one more release, and it's Can't Stay. And at the time, her mother had just passed away. The cancer had come back, and she had lost her fight to it. I have an idea for a video, and I need you or Sophia to do it, or I'm gonna have to get somebody else. And my wife was like, no one else is doing it. Sophia has to do it. And together as a family, we actually came up with this idea, and you gotta watch it. It's a beautiful video.
And that can be found on your YouTube page?
Yeah, you can get that on YouTube.
Which
yep.
is what?
It's actually a Vivo page, so you can just look up Pete Scavello, and I have the 4 videos will come up for each of these songs.
Okay.
And it was a family affair. Even my wife's cousin, Tanner McGrath, has a company called Tanatronics, and he did 3 of the music videos for me.
Nice.
But this one we achieved a lot in a studio similar to this, and we made the props together, and created a nice story with what we had, and got my daughter. I'm like, I told my daughter, that's how we sold it to her. We were like, the focus isn't. It's gonna be blurry, so you don't have to worry about people like, oh, I seen you in a video. Like but she did an awesome job. Like she gets. Actually, I have her on. Like this is
yeah, that's it. That's right.
Yeah,
I'm looking at it.
So she's
That's
got.
cool.
So we did some images. So there's a lot of in the beginning of the video. There's a lot of white and like the roses, and there's flowing curtains, and we kind of created a sun wash light behind the window, so it kind of seems like heaven, like she's going towards the light, and then as there's like a breakdown in the song, there comes that's where this stuff comes in, where it's like she's wearing a black dress, and there's kind of like shuddering effect, and it kind of to like represent the struggle. So it's pretty cool. Nice. I really enjoy the video.
Awesome.
Nice.
I'm glad we have that now. Yeah. But yeah, we can check that song out. Can't Stay is the next song. Yeah.
You want
Claire to play that?
Claire to play that? All right. Once again, I'm here with Pete Scavello. EP Repent was released in November, and here is Can't Stay.
Curtains in the breeze, they're following your grace, not asking you to see. So many times that we tried, get lost along the way, not asking you to see me. But now I'm down on my knees, so many times that I please, just asking you to see me. She's lying in bed, he's crying on the floor, she's crying out loud, can't stay here anymore. She's lying in bed, he's crying on the floor, she's crying out loud, can't stay here anymore. You smile, and I made you laugh, not asking you to see me. But I won't forget all the times that we've had, just wish that you could see me. She's lying in bed, he's crying on the floor, crying out loud, can't stay here anymore. She's lying in bed, he's crying on the floor, she's crying out loud, can't stay here anymore. Whoa, can't stay here anymore. Whoa, can't stay here anymore. I watch the curtains in the breeze, I'm missing your face, just wish that I could see. She's lying in bed, he's crying on the floor, she's crying out loud, can't stay here anymore. She's lying
Peter Scavello here on Rock On Radio websites, YouTube site, so we can check everything out.
PeterScavello.com. We'll link you to everything. You can check out YouTube. I only have the Vivo going right now. I'm trying to. I will start having some content soon. Was never really a big YouTube guy, so I'm like trying to understand the. I'm an Instagram guy, so
okay.
Yeah, so I'm trying to navigate the YouTube thing here.
It's actually on YouTube.
It's on. Yeah, it's on YouTube, but I'm like it's up through my distribution. It's not through me.
Well, if you go to our YouTube site, you'll see like one thing.
I know.
We don't do a very good job with YouTube.
I know people enjoy visual content, but like I said, this is my first interview, and I tried doing like a selfie. I tried recording up. I sent like a black sheet up and did some cool lighting and tried to film myself talking, like doing a recap and thanking for people for checking out the EP and yeah, that didn't go too well. So I'm still
you
working
made a
on
great
that.
video for that event that Carrie ran.
Oh yeah. Those I can throw together pretty fast, but recording myself, you know what it is? I think I haven't found how to get the sound the way I want it yet, with like just enough, like a little bit of reverb on it, and just, I don't know. It's coming soon though. I'm gonna have it.
Well, that's the thing about when you come in here and you play live, you're really pretty stripped down as far as you're going to go.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the reasons why I do that is because I want people to hear exactly what these artists sound like.
Exactly, yeah.
As if they were sitting home or in somebody's backyard during a barbecue or whatever it is. So what do you have coming up gig-wise? Anything?
So most of my gigs consist of, usually my son is either it's me and him alternating or we're both on the bill together. So if you want to check both of us out, I have a couple. They are posted on Spotify in the event section, and I also have a Bands in Town that you can check out that keeps. If you go follow the Bands in Town, they actually send you an email out when I'm playing close or within so many miles. So that's actually a pretty cool site that I didn't really utilize before. But I had a couple people at the past shows when I played Dad's. There was a couple people sitting at the bar that actually said that they got an email saying that I was playing and they came and checked it out because of that.
Right.
But yeah, I have a show coming up at Dad's with my son. I forget the date that's posted on there for that. I have that, and then I have one with John Fay and Joey DiTullio. John Fay is a great artist in Philadelphia. He's another guy you should look out. Maybe even get him in here. He's a really he's been in the area for a while. He wrote a song called Into Philadelphia that gets played on the gets played on one of the news stations. I know it's always on the. They use it for like their theme song for the morning show or something.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, we have a show coming up at Dr. Brulittle's with him.
Okay.
It's me, my son, Joey DiTullio, and John Fay. And Joey does some of his own songs, but he's an amazing guitar player that complements John on his set. But that's a great show to check out. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's February 28th, I believe. They're both on there. Yeah.
Towards the end of the month.
Yeah.
Or that is the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's not a
That's
leap
it.
year, right?
Nope.
It's a Friday, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Friday?
Yeah.
Excellent.
It might be good for you to come check it out, and then I can introduce you to John.
Yeah. And where is that?
That's at Dr. Brulittle's.
Oh,
in
at
Maple
Dr.
Shade.
Brulittle's.
Yeah.
Okay. Dr. Brulittle.
You would just go for the name.
They do
too.
love us there, though. Yeah.
Well, I may have to come with a keg
Entourage?
of Stay Puft chocolate marshmallow.
Well, listen to it. Oh, I guess it's not really a brewery. It's just.
It's a brewery, yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah.
have their own
Oh,
beers.
they're not going to let me in
Yeah,
there.
they won't.
But you would like to meet Jack. Jack's a good guy, the owner.
They may do it. May be like dueling brews.
Yeah. Or maybe you could talk about the blonde stuff.
Dueling brews.
I will take my religious advisor with me when I go down there to talk about holy water.
Sure.
Well,
I do have some other shows in the works. I have some nothing solid yet, but I occasionally once or twice a year I play up at Debonair Music Hall too. But
Yeah, that's right. You did tell me that. Now that's out of your comfort zone. That's
that
up
actually
in,
at that place I had answered. So I've played there 3 times now. And,
Okay.
The first time I was getting done for work and I seen one of the music pages on Facebook, and a young guy had posted that a band dropped out and they needed somebody. And I'm like, the place looked cool. I never noticed, I never knew the name before, and I checked the site out. I'm like, oh wow, that's a hell of a venue, and I'm like, hey, would this work? Can you use an acoustic opener? And he's like, yeah, that might work. So I went to play, and I had I don't have any following up in Teaneck or whatever, and so I had posted a commercial or like advertisement for that area, and I'd gotten a few walk-ins, and these guys and you saw some of the videos that I make, so I promote myself. I spend some time promoting myself, and I get there, and the other bands were 2 hours late, they were for load in, they were late, and I thought I was gonna be playing by myself at night because the traffic was horrible.
Wow.
And the other bands get there, and I've come to find out that they're like young kids, and I'm like, which is fine. I mean, if it doesn't,
Right.
you're a musician, you're a musician. But they didn't bring anyone.
Oh.
Like the one band that was the main act didn't bring anyone, and then the second was a young girl, and the only person she brought was her mom.
Oh no.
And the venue had pulled me aside, and he's like, how'd you get mixed up with these, these guys? I'm like, I just answered a Facebook ad. And the kid's super nice. I'm not saying anything bad about him. He's super nice. They just, nobody came that night.
Ugh.
And so he's like, how did you get mixed up with these guys? I'm like, I just answered an ad. And he's like, we really like your music and love your voice. We'd love to have you back. And so I just have been staying in touch, and they had reached out, I think it was 2 Decembers ago, and Tony Harnell of TNT was doing a storyteller session, and he's like, hey, would you like to open up for them? I think it would be a good fit since he's doing acoustic. I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And that was a great experience. I had it was only me, and then he went up and did his thing. So that was a great experience. And then I just opened up for White Line, which was
right. That's what you were telling me.
Yeah, there was another band that was there too. I opened the night up, and then there was another band from, I think, Connecticut called the War Brothers. Just more of a similar style to White Lion, but just a band of all brothers. Like there's like four of them, just incredible guys. Their set was killer, and but that was another great experience. And that one I wasn't used to because the Tony Harnell one, they had tables set up, and it was like, it's a nice stage there, but they had tables set up, so nobody was allowed to come up to the stage. Well, this one was White Line, and it's they're playing, all the tables are gone, so everybody that wants to see White Line is crowded up on the stage, and I've never experienced that. So I'm standing up at the stage, and I got people up at my knees, and I'm like. That was the first time I experienced that. I never had a crowd up so close to me like that. But yeah, that was a really good experience. I love playing that place. The sound there is incredible.
Good. I'm sorry. I was gonna ask Claire how much time do we have left? I want to make
15 minutes.
Oh, we got 15 minutes.
Okay. I could play a new song for you.
Nice.
Okay.
So I have another new song called "Crucified." I guess staying along with the Repent theme, but this song's called "Crucified." It's about. It's a follow up to another song I was gonna play called "Cut the Throat," but this song "Crucified" is basically being, I guess just having judgment on people having judgment on your ideas or what you believe, and being criticized for them. It's basically about that.
Nice.
Peter Scavello.
Well, don't expect from me a hardship, but no, not actually. I'm complicated, I can see all this process taking over me all alone. Well, I'm gone, but not for long, not for long. I've been crucified, not wrong. You're terrified, not dead. I've been sold down the river for the things I might have said. Well, I've been crucified, not wrong. You're terrified, not dead. I've been sold down the river for the things I might have said, might have said. Oh, no, not hard to leave. Well, truth of the matter, I'm lost. Sophisticated collar, well, I'm not wearing any chains by the law. Well, I'm gone, but not for long, not for long. I've been crucified, not wrong. You're terrified, not dead. I've been sold down the river for the things I might have said. Well, I've been crucified, not wrong. You're terrified, not dead. I've been sold down the river for the things I might have said, might have said. I'm not dead, I'm not dead. For the things I might have said, might have said. Might have said. As my eyes close, I realize you're fake. Been crucified, not wrong. For the things I might have said, might have said. I'm not dead, I'm not dead. For the things I might have said, I've been crucified, not wrong. You're terrified, not dead. I've been sold down the river for the things I might have said. 'Cause I've been crucified, not wrong. You're terrified, not dead. I've been sold down the river for the things I might have said, might have said. I'm not dead, I'm not dead. For the things I might have said, might have said.
Pete Scavello here on Rock On Radio.
Thank you.
Nice.
Very nice.
So, what is... Now, I know why I got into music. And I know what my favorite part of being a musician is.
Okay.
The chicks. Oh, sorry. Did I say that?
Do you know...
That's why we all learn how to play guitar, right?
Exactly. That's why he's a drummer. He never got the chicks. He was always in the
Three
back.
chords in the first lines of a few songs.
Do you know... there was a... I've been doing Rock on Radio probably for maybe a year or two. Anyway, somebody at the Trentonian newspaper called a hold of it, and Jeff Edelstein, first time I ever met him, comes to my house. He wants to interview me and BC, my then co-host. And he looks at us. He goes, so what makes you do it? I mean, why do you do it? And BC just blurts out, for the chicks, dude.
But really,
So
were
you
there
just took me
chicks?
back to a spot I really didn't want to go to. No, being a musician, there are so many things that you get satisfaction from. You probably get frustrated and annoyed more than you get satisfaction.
Stop.
But being a musician, there are many things that there's always that, and stop me if I'm wrong, there's always that one moment that you hit upon as a musician where it's like, yeah, this is why I do this. This is what makes it
The sweet spot.
really cool. For me, I love going in a recording studio as a musician. I love playing live. They're my two favorite things. Yeah, doing all the marketing or trying to set up gigs or loading in and loading out, dealing with promoters. Because in Claire's words, I do not suffer fools well.
Nope.
And as I get older, I have less tolerance for baloney,
Right.
for BS. So what is your favorite part of this journey thus far?
So my whole reason for even playing out is, I guess, when I was inspired to play and start writing, I feel like what are you writing them for? So I feel like if you're writing original music, you need to share them. Like they're meant to be shared.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point in writing them at home and nobody's listening to them?
Right.
And I think the part I mean, I think everybody does, but when they're received well, like that, it's a good feeling, especially even to see, like, I know my daughter and wife know the words to all the songs, but that's because they hear me rehearse them so much. But like seeing other people know the words that that you've just met for the first time, or that you don't know that well, and just like singing along with your songs is just, it's like that's a really good
It's a
feeling.
reward.
Yeah, it's definitely a reward.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
for
I can
sure.
tell, like, even with your songs, there are type of songs that you can sing to. Not everybody can do that. I mean, or that
Thank
are
you.
catchy, that have like that little bit to it. Even
That's why so much of today's music is horrible.
Oh, it's awful.
because
Yeah, that's why I love this. Is it you?
Which is why I
great.
asked him earlier if he pays attention to the lyrics, or what the lyrics mean to you. You need to have a hook
Yeah, it's
that's
always
going
the
to
hook.
stick
Yeah.
in people's head.
Yeah.
It's going to make them want to sing that back to you,
Yeah.
or sing along with you.
Yeah, and I always joke too, like when I'm playing at the, if I'm playing an open mic, or because I mean that's where I do a lot of like songs like this that I'll play out for the first time. I always tell them that they're like part of a test, because I try to incorporate it and be mindful. When I go to like review what I've written, and try to make sure that there's a repeating line that is the hook, that sing along part,
Right.
Right.
because it, unfortunately there is a lot of songs out there that are way too long, and you struggle to find that sing along part,
Yeah.
or there is a
Right.
part there and they failed to notice that they should have re-entered it,
right.
and that you gotta be mindful of those things.
Right.
And some people don't care. They just want all the words are the meaning, and if
Right.
they're not all in there and tell the story, that's how the story goes. Like,
Right.
Right.
Well, we had a case a couple of weeks. Matter of fact, which is the last time I saw you, when we went to see Misty Blues
Oh yeah.
at the Lizzie Rose Music Room.
Right.
And Gina told the story about my interview with her, of how somebody said you're going to use it as a litmus
Right,
test.
right.
That's how a lot of bands do that. They got new material, and they'll debut it and see how it goes over.
yeah,
In their case, it went over very well.
Yeah.
So,
That was good.
which we didn't even talk about that. What a great show that was.
That
huh?
was awesome. That really was. It was good.
She gave me a hug And
Yeah.
she's like, I don't want to squeeze you too tight because I'm all sweaty. I'm like, that's all right, you're sweat. Give me it, baby.
I have a cute picture of you have the Coleman in the back of yours, and that's the same. You both have the same last name, so it was cute because
right.
she was coming to hug you, and you had the Coleman and both Colemans. So
That's right.
Cute.
Well, we got one tune left. We have we want to play before we say goodbye.
Yeah.
Which one would you like us to do? Violet Skies and Rain, Keep Driving, or do you want to play another one live?
You know what? I'll let them. They can check out. I'd encourage everyone that if you're interested in what I'm doing to go check out my music, and because those are available, so you can still go check those out after this. But this next song I'm gonna play, "Cut the Throat," is a new song, and it's not available anywhere yet. So.
Oh, fantastic! 3 world premieres.
Yay!
This kind of has that backwoods song I was talking about.
All right, Peter Scavello.
This side of the fire seems life or death. Make your decision before you reach the end. You wake up, you're a liar. The newspaper says they caught you in desire. You're forced to raise your hand. Forced to raise your hand before they cut the throne. You better start running. You better start running now. You better start running before they cut the throne. You step out from the blanket, you're covered in smoke. You thought things had settled, chalk outline the road. They caught you in the crosshair, surprise out for your head. A weight can't be lifted. You're forced to raise your hand. Forced to raise your hand before they cut the throat. You better start running. You better start running now. You better start running before they cut the throat. Forced to raise your hand. Forced to raise your hand before they cut the throne. You better start running. You better start running now. You better start running before they cut the throne. Forced to raise your hand before they cut the throne. You better start running. You better start running now. You better start running before they cut the throne. Oh, this side of the fire seems life or death.
Peter Scavello here on Rock On Radio. Well, Peter, man, before we wrap it up with him real quick, see, it was Jay's birthday the other day. Eliza's Jay.
Yep.
Happy birthday to Jay.
That's right. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday.
Jay.
And Yeah, the great Eliza Niels,
Mm-hmm.
her right and left hand man, Jay. It was his birthday. That's number one. Number two, next week we have a band coming in from North Jersey, actually.
Wow.
Coming all the way down here. Yep, that would be
Bamberdost.
Bamberdost. They are coming in next week. Again, websites and all that.
PeterScavello.com, and that'll link you to everything. You can. I have YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Peter Scavello. Instagram is Peter Scavello Music. But if you go to the website, that'll link you to everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
The EP is Repent, and
It's available on vinyl too.
in vinyl too. Even look at that.
Nice.
4 songs are printed on both sides in case you scratch one, so getting double the value.
Beautiful.
That's fantastic. Peter, it's been such a pleasure hanging out with you, man, and thank you for making the trip.
Oh, absolutely! I'm really grateful you guys had me here.
And I'm sorry that your family didn't come with you. They
They
seem
were looking
very
forward
much
to it, too.
supportive of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So I hope that everybody feels better. And that's that. So we have to say goodbye from the 2-track studios
We do.
of Deco Entertainment.
We don't say goodbye. We say.
Until next time.
Rock on!